Margaret's
Okay.
fire casts light in dark places.
Purely just looking around. Because apparently there's some. Oh, what is this? Someone's out for us. Fireheads. Oh, a ghost. Weeds grow thick and full, untroubled by the passage of
Keeping an eye
kith.
out.
Save it.
Mm-hmm.
Come
Oh,
to pay your respects to the queen that was.
wait, what? A ghost hovers in the middle of the ruin, reciting blessings and prayers. Even as the spirit form shifts and swirls, it retains the face of an elderly man in robes that mark wealth and status. It turns to you. Who are you?
Lord Ardwellen Rugford III, and pleased to make your acquaintance. I came to the Deerwood on one of the first ships from Adia. And unlike the yokels and hut dwellers around here, I still keep to the old ways.
Oh, his cloudy eyes swim with resentment. It's truly a pity to see what the locals have done to Wodika's house of worship. What do you, so what are you doing?
Worshipping Wodika, the
Wodika.
exiled queen and oathbinder. I come every day to offer my devotion. I'd love nothing more than to book passage back to Adia, but it is my emperor's wish that I serve in these barbaric lands. And so I do.
His expression fades into confusion before he shrugs. I'd like to know more about Wodika. Wodika?
A queen among the gods. She oversees laws and oaths. Everything has a rightful place, and Wodika watches over them all.
Wodika. The ghost's hazy features sharpens with delight. The ghost.
Of course,
Oh,
not everyone accepts this. Even among the other gods, her authority is questioned. But Wodika is also goddess of memory and vengeance, and she remembers. She'll remember every slight and trespass when she reclaims her throne.
the ghost's expression churns. Slowly it nods. You know you're a ghost, right?
I beg your pardon? Is this some sort of joke where you come from?
I'm serious. Look at yourself.
A madhouse. That's what this town really needs.
He closes his eyes and massages his temple with wispy fingers. Goodbye. Oh, so we can talk to you whenever. That's fine. Save that.
Sure.
On the hunt.
We went down, but it's not that far. Though we only lost 102. Could be much worse.
All these circling feet heading nowhere.
Valen Embassy. I don't think we have a reason to be here yet. Temple, Crucible Keep, Ducal Palace. We do need to go to Crucible Keep for not that. This, the Rogue Knight. Do, 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 do. Go back. Go to this here. House Mail still thinks it's the law in the city. Oh, we took that down. Save. Aldmar, save.
Good day to you.
Aldmar gives you an appraising eye. Judging by the scars on his face, he's lucky to be able to do that much. Every day we get more than the hinterlands pouring into Defiance Bay. Keep us busy on the watch, it does. You look like you've recently arrived yourself. Who are you? A soldier of the Crucible Knights and proud of it. I help keep everything running at the keep so that the commander Cliver can focus on more important things. Looking for something or just knocking the dirt off your boots. What goes on in Crucible Keep? This is the headquarters of the Crucible Knights, so it's where we store arms and armor, as well as many of our soldiers' bulk. Commander Cliver in the back, making plans, as usual. He scratches a scarred cheek. You'll find the forge at the west end of the building, along with our master smith Dunstan. There's also a shrine to the golem if you're the praying type. Tell me about the knights. We're the defenders of Defiance Bay. We're not exactly a formal knighthood, but don't tell Commander Cliver I said that. He grins. We were the first organized militia to oppose Adiran rule, and today we're the largest force in the city. Our soldiers undergo years of combat training, and our officers are required to have their souls read by that critter out in Durandaro. What's this about Durandaro? Just a requirement of the Crucible Knights. So the higher-ups know there's nothing messy built in their your soul's past. Aldemar widens his stance. Keeping the ranks pure is fine by me. I just wish they were more careful in hiding their ciphers. What's wrong with their ciphers? He shifts his weight and glances at the empty halls. They're mostly Arlans. I'm sure they're talented enough, but you just can't trust them. Hostilities in their nature, and they've learned to hide it over the years. He frowns and crosses his arms. All I'm saying is they should at least be supervised by other folk. That's reasonable enough, isn't it? How rude. If people treated them better, you wouldn't have to worry about them being so hostile. He shrugs. I'm just speaking the truth. Nowadays, it seems that's the biggest crime of all. Or maybe you're just so freaking rude. I'm happy you're not in charge. Dustin's as gifted an armorer as you'll find in the entire city. Where's this guy we need to find? Go see 4.
That's settled.
This is the forge. Let's see. Novitiate Dunstan. Tongues of flame lick at the forge, hissing with smoke as hot as a dragon's breath. Tongs, hardies, hammers, fullers, and punch tools hang from the wall. They feel heavy and sturdy, but their flame-darkened surfaces testify to frequent use.
If this is about the breastplates, I already told Cleaver they won't be repaired till next week.
The dwarf bustles between a sweltering forge fire and a work table. He wipes one muscle-knotted arm across his brow. What do you do here?
I'm a forge master. I'm a master smith for the Crucible Knights. But the way I see it, I'm also keeping up with our old traditions. The first members of our order were smiths. Nowadays, most everyone's a professional soldier. I suppose it's to be expected, but I think it's important we keep up with our roots, too.
He hefts a hammer in one hand. Something else on your mind. Tell me about the knight.
We were all smiths back in Hodrick's day, though I'm about the only one here who still gets his hands dirty. We're a fearsome fighting force, though these days I think Cleaver takes more pride in our parade formations.
He thinks himself a progressive man, but he's obsessed with soul lineages and connections to the Drywoods heroes of old. He picks up his hammer again. Other than drawing the row, who really knows about any of that, though? Goodbye. Save that. Anything in the biscuit? Nope. Pinhelm. I think you're the guy we need to
How do you
talk
do?
to. The young novitiate's armor is recently shined and his hair is clean and neatly combed. It's hard to believe he's ever seen battle or that the scarred antique breastplate he wears could possibly be his. Tell me about the Knights of the Crucible. We're the primary defenders of Defiance Bay. The Order's founders were the first to rally for Drywooden's independence. He waves his hand. Of course that's ancient history now. Now we're the most prestigious company of soldiers in the Drywood. It's a glorious line of work. He scrunches up his nose. If you can forget about the barracks, that is. Was there anything else? How does someone become a knight? We don't just take anyone. I remember sharing soul legacies with the very men and women who defended this land a century and a half ago. He shifts his weight and coughs. Anyhow, Commander, Clive is responsible for initiations, but he rarely accepts foreigners. Does the name Arthric sound familiar? He sniffs. If you got any self-respect, you won't associate with him, or with any of his friends at the expedition hall for that matter. Scamps and delinquents, a lot of them. So is that his breastplate you're wearing? It was. He looks down and admires it. It's become property of the Crucible Knights when he was discharged. Now it's mine. And it's not for sale, if that's what you're wondering. Not every day you find armor that was used in the rebellion. So what's the story between you two? Osric has always held some controversial opinions, but they were overlooked for the longest time because his family has had an extensive history of service in the Crucible Knights. He frowns and crosses his arms. He finally went too far. He had the gall to suggest that we have strayed too far from our roots, that some of our officers were beginning to resemble a dear nobility. Is he telling? But maybe it's true. He rubs a spot on his bracer with a silk handkerchief. He would have us all wear rough spun and fight with forged hammers. I merely reported his statement. That history made the Knights what they are now. You can't just cast it aside. We've outgrown the past. He waves a shiny gauntlet. Sometimes you need to move on. Sagani frowns. Outgrown it like an old sealskin coat? You adapt with the time, sure, but that's a little naive. He says your affidavit is a forgery. Just what would he know about that? It's perfectly convenient for him to cast aspirations with what his pedigree in the Knights. He folds his arms. He blinks at you. It's a lie, of course. I know. Okay. I don't that's farewell. I don't believe you. Somewhere in the Crucible Keep. In first fires. Fine. We found it. We just have to find his papers. A curse of cold clay added. 3 days. 25% experience. Remembrance of life warmth. Oh, copper. Average item. All across the Eastern Reach, people are being buried in graveyards and returning from the dead as vampires. Examination by locals have revealed that animasters had tampered with several grave sites prior to burial. Local lords have released bounties for the capture of whoever is responsible. Unfortunately, the rapid spread of the events leads maybe to believe that a group, not a single individual, is behind the experiments. Kinda has that. Okay, but what is... How do we figure out? Oh, how long is a turn? Wrong thing. It is this. That's not it. I'll look it up. Pillars of Eternity. Oh, it's when you complete a part of a quest. Got it. Got it. Okay, that makes some sense. That's not it. Bam. Current a cipher duly appointed and employed by Darren Rowe does hereby certify that novitiate A.M. Penhelm has been found to have a soul free of any subversive influence of tainted essence. It's stamped with a seal of Darren Rowe and signed by both Penhelm and Curran. We're taking it. This is a record of active patrols and reported crimes in Andrews Kiff. The latter far outnumbers the former.
That's settled.
Nope. Nice crucible. Poetry. Arrest of Orn, whose recent actions have led to the death of a knight, the Crucible. Request reporting any information to Judiciary Aldemar. It is signed Commander Cliver. EORN. Is there anything in here? All right. Oh yeah. Okay. Current. Hedged House. What? We need to deal with Heritage Hill. Wyla. The judicious gaze flicks over to you briefly before returning to the novitiates gathered in the training area. If this is about patrols, my novitiates are already stretched to their limits. Between the refugee influx and the mess at Heritage Hill, I simply don't have any units to spare. After a pause, she looks over at you again. I'm sorry, was there something else you need? What do you do here? I'm in charge of the keeps in the novitiates. I'm responsible for their training and patrol assignments. She nods at the group gathered in the training room. They're good soldiers, and they've been quick to adapt to new challenges. Must attend to my duties. What's wrong with Heritage Hill? She lowers her voice. What isn't wrong is the real question. A whole district of walking, flesh-eating corpses. We sealed the area 2 months ago, just after I lost one of my finest commanders there, and yet this is the second guard rotation to disappear. There are already enough rumors about the place floating around the keep without my soldiers whispering about these disappearances. She shakes her head. I just as soon as abandon the district, but if these monsters should find a way out. Tell me about Heritage Hill. It used to be one of the most prestigious districts in Defiance Bay, but a few months ago, the residents all went mad, started eating each other, and anything else that had the bad luck. Wait, what? And anything else that had the bad luck to wander into the district. I've never seen anything like it. Now, every novitiate that stands guard there, everyone that comes back, anyway, talks of the stench of the grave and the groans of unspeakable horrors. She holds up one plate-clad finger. That's what the why and how are questions for the animancers. I've sealed the districts in hope of containing whatever happened there. It seems to be working for now. You said something was wrong there? She lowers her voice. You've done that. I could look into it. She steps back and regards you. After what I've just told you, you want to go to Heritage Hill? I've lost trained soldiers. Why should I let anyone in? You've got nothing to lose. If you're so eager to rush to your death, I won't stop you. She quietly looks at the novitiates, and if you're somehow able to put a stop to this, you've got my permission to enter Heritage Hill. I'll send word to the guards at the gate. Thank you. All right, that should be 2 turns, so we should have 1 left. Wait, what? That's annoying. Still 3. Let's save it. This space is actually really big. Did I miss something? Did I go in the barracks? That's the war room. That's not stealing, so. I already have that apparently. Save. No idea. This is the symbol of Abaddon, a colossal smiting hammer imposed over a circular gear. It's smooth and bright with buffing oils. I have no idea. Let's save that. Try this freaking war room, I guess. Cliver.
We just don't have the manpower. I can do that.
Oh, wow. You were not able to get that.
That's settled.
This the one of... Oh, yarn again. But I just want to make sure it's not stealing. It's not. An item? Okay. Crucible Knights Part 1. Lower ranks. In recent years, the Knights of the Crucible has evolved as a group, no longer concentrating solely on blacksmithing or combat training. They've adjusted their focus to help initiates develop their souls as well as their bodies. From initiation, there is a well-defined path to the top of the order. First is the squire. When a candidate shows sufficient prowess in blacksmithing, or recently at least the drive and potential, he is accepted into the order as a squire. Once he is part of the order, training begins immediately. Lessons are divided into 2 main sections: body, commanded by the Lord Marshal, and soul, overseen by the Grand Crusader. At this point in their progression, the only uniform the squire is allowed is a simple cloth uniform displaying the knight's colors. Novitiate. After sufficient training, each squire is given a 3-part test. He must repair a broken piece of armor. He must recite the Canticles of Abaddon from memory, and he must be able to land a blow on a novitiate in combat. If he succeeds at all 3 of these tasks, he is promoted to the position of novitiate. At this point, he is given his first official piece of crucible armor, a brigandine. His training now doubles as only the most valiant of candidates makes it through to the next level. And last, the Justiciar and Templars. When the novitiate shows he is ready, decided by his teachers and trainers, he must make a decision. His training and advancement from this point on will focus on one of the 2 disciplines: body or soul. Novitiates that choose body continue military training as a Justiciar under the Lord Marshal. Novitiates that choose soul are given clerical training as a templars under the Grand Crusader Judiciary are templars. The newly appointed is taken through the ritual of the arm. He is given his plate armor and symbol of Abaddon. He is then taken to the smith's forge, named after Abaddon, and is tasked with forging a small nail out of iron. He affixes this nail to his armor under Abaddon's symbol and will wear it there for the rest of his life as a knight of the Crucible. At this point, the knight's training is fixed. If he chose body, that is the path he is on until the end of his days. If he chooses soul, there is no deviating from the course. That is why the choice is only presented after he has been through many months of training. Okay. Okay, so it does show stealing. Oh, it's part 2. I want that. Save it. Alright, I guess we're talking. What is this? The environment surrounding Defiance Bay flags mark strategic access points to the city.
Refugees from every corner of the Deerwood. The dozens getting them all riled up about animancy. At this rate, we'll need twice the soldiers to patrol Defiance Bay. Yes? Can I help you with something?
Commander Cliver stands in front of the massive table studying the map. His expression is set in a grim frown. He opens his mouth to say something to one of his men, but he follows the soldier's gaze over his shoulder to you. You're in charge of the Crucible Knights? Here in Defiance Bay, anyhow. The High Justice is the leader of our order, but he's currently stationed at Bleakbreaker Castle. My job is to oversee our forces in Defiance Bay and to keep order for the Duke. Was there anything else I can do for you? Tell me about the Knights of the Crucible. He crosses his hands behind his back. We're the only professional army in Defiance Bay, or in the Drywood for that matter. We defended the city in Hadrian's Day. We've improved our training since then, but Drywood's Row can certify that many of our officers come from good Druidian fighting stock. Now we're responsible for patrolling the city and keeping the peace. With so many refugees pouring in from the countryside, that's become more important than ever. Unfortunately, that's earned us enemies, particularly among the dozens and some of the more enterprising families in Defiance Bay. What does the dozens have against you? He snorts. They're demagogues and troublemakers. They forget that Defiance Bay is one of the largest cities in the world and not some frontier outpost. Most of them are mercenaries on a good day and street thugs for the rest of the time. Needless to say, they've no patience for law and order. Tell me about the enterprising families. House Dominel, namely, they're one of the city's oldest noble families and its largest criminal organization. Their patriarch, Gedmar, has been trying to take advantage of the turmoil to expand his operation. We've kept on top of him, and he hasn't been too happy about that. Okay. But why don't you have enough soldiers?
Fleetbreaker Castle. The High Justice has summoned almost half of my novitiates and more of my justiciars to a keep on the other side of New Hailmar. It's not for me to question the High Justice's orders, but it's left us short-handed. And mark me, we're just a couple sparks away from anarchy.
For a second, he looks as if he won't say something, but he surrenders his resolve with a sigh. Frustration flickers through his eyes. With so many newcomers, can't you just recruit more soldiers? More recruits mean more training, which means more time from experienced soldiers that I don't have. He half turns away from you. Anyhow, I hardly see how this is any of your concern, but if you got the time to ask me about it, then perhaps you've got time to do something constructive. Forge Master Dunstrin is working with an animancy scholar to build what we're calling Forge Knights. Warriors that can patrol our streets without suffering fatigue, disobedience, or fear. Some agitator throws a rock at him, and we don't have to worry about things getting out of hand. He's constructed the armor, but we need the scholar's research. Unfortunately, she hasn't been around the last few times my novitiates have checked. Vienna lives with the rest of the Scriveners out in Copper Lane, but I haven't the soldiers to spare at the moment. Go to the Scriveners dormitory and see if you can find her. When you get the research, just bring it to Dustin. Then in his area of expertise anyway. This is his area of expertise anyway. Once you've brought him the research, he can sell you any arms or armor if you have need. He forges and repairs all of our equipment. You won't find a more capable smith in Defiance Bay. All right. Is it still 3? How does this work? Still 3. Barracks is last. I think we've been there though. The painting shows a row of warriors standing atop the walls of Defiance Bay while their soldiers sail away.
That's settled.
Nope. I really just I want the XP.
That's settled. A simple test. That's settled.
All
That's
3.
settled.
Save it. This thick grime cased the bottom of the tub. The towel hanging from the side gives off an awful stench.
I shall be discreet.
Anything here? I guess not. This is the forge. Yeah. I'll deal with you in a sec. Oh, it's a two-way thing. Never mind. Save it. Okay, that was this. And next would be the big boy, Ducal Palace. Oh wait, never mind. A deer.
Hey. Strange place for a shrine to Abidan, Crucible Keep. Maybe it made more sense at some point before it gathered all that dust. And the only thing the Knights of the Crucible worship these days is the nobility, as far as I understand it.
I knew some soldiers who got recruited by the Knights after the war was over. They told me some about it. They got these young kids in there. They get these young kids in there, and they tell them about blacksmithing and about the revolution and about tradition. Talk about the golem like he created the Crucible Knights in his forge to go win Drywood's independence. Then they join, and it turns out all any of those knights ever talk about is when we are going to get recognized as a real knighthood. When are we going to get our titles in our land? Their High Justice wants to be an earl, says it. Abaddon's will. He's got a castle and an army. You wonder how long he'll wait before he starts a war over it, saying Abaddon told him to. Oh. It seems like some members do still take their ideals seriously. You see it with the older knights, some of them. they get taught different. They were taught differently. I feel for them, seeing all that slowly wearing away around them, with nothing to be done because the wrong people are in charge. Shame they don't have better people leading. Oh, can we change that then?
Sure.
They do need the better people though. Okay.
Politics, infighting, greed, and a shrine to Margaret as well. Her clergy belongs there.
Belongs where, my guy? Where? What's this? Oh, a side building? Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. Here's the golden type. Ducal Palace. A call to the court. All right. Where is it? Where is it? Speak with Chancellor Warren. Save it.